This question was asking us to find the side length of a non-right triangle. It says, in a triangle, side A equals 10, side B equals 12, and angle C equals 120 degrees. What is the length of side C? So since it's not a right triangle, we have to have a different method that is not just SOHCAHTOA or our right triangle trig strategies. And so we have the law of sines and we have the law of cosines. And when you're deciding between the two, one easy way to figure out if you can use law of sines is, do you have two pieces of the same side or angle? So like, do you have A and angle A, or B and angle B, or angle C and side C? If you do, you can use law of sines. But if you don't, like we have in this situation, we need to use the law of cosines. And this would be a more advanced ACT question, more towards the end of the exam. You would see something like this. But the law of cosines, which would be available to you in the formula booklet, says the following, that side C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared. That should look like the Pythagorean theorem. But then we have this piece, minus 2 times side A times side B times cosine, that's why it's called the law of cosines, of C. So whatever side is isolated, the angle of that side will be on the outside in the formula. And the two other sides will be on the interior of the formula. But again, that formula is available to you. So let's just plug in what we know. We don't know side C. That's what we're being asked to solve for. We do know A and B for the sides. So 10 squared plus 12 squared minus 2 times 10 times 12 times the cosine of our angle C, which is 120. Okay, again, use the calculator if you need or want to. Might be a good time to use it, but we can also clean this up fairly easily, but always use the calculator if you want to. So this is 100, 10 squared, 12 squared is 144. This we can say is 10 times 12 is 120. 120 times 2 is 240. So negative 240 times the cosine of 120. All right, again, at any point, the calculator could be helpful, but let's just show what this is. 100 plus 144 is 244. And then 240 times the cosine of 120. If you did this on the calculator, you would find out that the cosine of 120 is negative a half. So negative 1/2 times negative 240 is positive. Half of 240 is 120. So the two negatives multiply to get a positive, and you get 120. And now we're left with C squared is equal to 244 plus 120 is equal to 364. Okay, so now we just need C, and so to get C by itself, we would take the square root of both sides. And that gives us C is equal to the square root of 364. And if you look at our answers, we don't see that there. You might use a calculator at this point, plug in, get a decimal, see which one those are, okay? Or you can say, all right, how could I simplify the radical of square root 364? So if we did that, maybe I'll show that over here. You can do this in lots of ways. You can look for the largest perfect square, or if you can't see a perfect square, just start factoring, and 2 divides 164 to be 182. And then divide that again, because it's an even number, and it's 2 and 91. And pretty quickly we see that 91 is a prime number. So we have a paired up factor of 2's, which means they can come outside the radical. So it becomes 2 on the outside of the radical, and what's left inside is that 91, and we can find that answer for side C in choice D.